Alright guys, this is the last one for the Pokemon Top 5s, the Fairy type. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit enough to even give a good proper intro for this one. We're just getting right on into it because I really could give two shits about the Fairy type. Now
Except for
granted,
if it comes to beating Iris down.
now granted, now granted, I have given a little more respect to it now. I'm not as mad at it now, mind you, now. But at first, when it first came out, what I will admit, it was the first time I ever hated Pokemon. Any kind of Pokemon. As the years went on, about 3 or 4 years later, started using it a bit more. Was a little more okay with it. So, that being said, this one is going to immediately piss people off. Because I know the first fairy type people come to mind is the Ghost Fairy Mimikyu at number 5. And there is a reason. I've got a lot of other ones that have actually I like a little bit more for specific reasons, or my number one slot is I'm kind of a giddy about the new Diamond and Pearl games. A little giddy. But Mimikyu I had to put on this at some point because it is a cool Pokemon. It's very good. It's very cool. But who didn't flinch when Meowth got pretty much dead? The dude's got plot armor. I'll give him that. He's got to have died almost as many times as Ash. Um, I don't know how many people actually remember that episode, but yeah, he did look Mimikyu in the eye without its disguise on. This thing is dark. This thing is like stupid dark.
Should have been a dark type then.
Yeah, but I think it's best suited for as a ghost type because it's not necessarily an evil. Because we'll let you in on a secret. In Japan, the dark type is actually over there. If it's translated, it actually is the evil type. Which makes sense why it's going up against the fairy type or the light type. See where I'm going with that? However, however, with the fact that it's dark, it's not dark type, it's a ghost type. Now I don't understand why it's a fairy type. Like straight up, I don't understand why it's a fairy type. But being that it is a fairy type means that it could be on this list. And that's why it wasn't on the ghost type list. There was a bunch of other ones on there, but I wanted to save it for the fairy type list. I wanted to put it on the A list at all for y'all. I do like it. It's just a bitch and a half to try to get a hold of one. I think I got one. I didn't get one until like 3, 4 years after that game really, the Sun and Moon released in those games. So it was so hard to get a hold of one. So hard to find one for me. I knew you can get the Totem one in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but I didn't get that. I hadn't got that far yet. Number 4. Now there's a reason this one's on here above Mimikyu. There's a reason. Cutiefly line. Cutiefly and Rabombi. I know. These things are also bug types. So now, but Rabombi has saved my neck a number of times during my Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon playthroughs, as did Magnezone. Yes, it takes some love and care, some tender love and care with Cutiefly to evolve into Rabombi. Once you do, that thing's gonna save your neck against dark types and dragon types. So, of course, I'm gonna use it. And it's a pretty early fairy. So, yeah, of course, I'm gonna use it. That's the main reason it's on here. And I do like it, Rabombi's design. Not gonna lie. Next up, number 3, the Igglybuff line. Now we all know why this is on here, specifically because of Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. Now I don't mind Wigglytuff. That balloon-shaped body is so freaking. It looks huggable. It looks huggable. But Jigglypuff is the main reason this line is even on here. Y'all know what time it is, don't y'all?
Let me get my earplugs.
But that Jigglypuff from the anime is probably the reason this is one of the most iconic Gen 1 Pokemon.
It is such a spiteful little Jigglypuff.
Wouldn't you be a little spiteful if your entire audience fell asleep and you not realizing that you're using the move sing? Wouldn't you be a little vindictive too?
I
That's
still
what I
think it
thought.
goes a little overboard sometimes.
What? As far as like the marker goes, no, I'd be pretty pissed too if I didn't realize that. Once I realized it, it was like, oh, well,
Once
shit.
you realize it, you'd be like, maybe I've been being a little shit.
I might want to go home and rethink my life choices. But honestly, I like this Jigglypuff, and I think it's weird that Ash never caught it. He
They
wants
never
to be a
get anything done,
Pokemon.
and it'd always pop out of its ball to sing.
Is that any different than Psyduck's uselessness?
I mean, they can still do stuff if Psyduck pops out of the ball.
Psyduck can't do shit. Though.
I said they can.
Okay, they can, but he also puts the opponents to sleep too. Just saying. But yeah, guys, and but
Also,
that.
I got another reason why he never caught it. He always fell asleep.
But number 2 is the Snubble line. Now there is a reason why Snubble and Granbull are on here. I actually have a pillow pet of it, or not a pillow pet, but it's one of those pillow person people things. That you can sometimes get those big gigantic plush. Was my sister's. My sister gave it to me, and Snubble is probably one of my favorite Pokemon. I usually try to hunt it in the Gen 2 games just because it is a little hard to get hold of. But it's one of my favorites because it's so cute. And I like bulldogs. I really like bulldogs. And I remember the mini movie from Pokemon the first movie, one of the mini movies that had not only that one's debut, but Meryl. Both of these Pokemon we'd never seen before that movie came out. We didn't know who these were. And lo and behold, Gen 2 comes along, and not only do we learn that Togepi's part of that line, Gen 2 stuff, but now we know the names of these Pokemon, Snubbull and Meryl. Well, they do kind of talk about these. But yeah, Snubbull is definitely one of my favorites. Just because it is so cute. I love bulldogs. Never owned one, but I love them. I love their faces. They're awesome. They look intimidating, but they're not. They're stupid sweet dogs. One quick honorable mention line, then I'll think about it. The Meryl line. Azurill, Meryl, and Azumarill. These actually got the fairy type tacked onto them. I do like them. Azumarill, now that it's a water fairy, that thing does not die. It's got mad defense and HP. And I love it. However, Azurill is so hard to get a hold of for me. And I don't use it much. I had to leave it off the list. Xerneas. This is a dishonorable mention, actually, guys.
Oh, you don't like the big deal legendary.
There's a reason. There's a reason for that. Now, my first game for X and Y, I didn't get Y until a couple years later. I got X for Christmas, which meant by default, I got Xerneas. I actually liked Yveltal a little bit more, but got Xerneas for Christmas. Eventually caught it. Started using it in battle during the fight with the big guy, the big bag boss, and the Elite Four and all that. Do you realize how much that deer died? How many times that deer died? Every single fucking fight.
Language.
This Pokemon is supposed to be a legendary, right? Why is it so damn weak? It's got some of the stupidest moves when you first get it. The best move it's got is Moonblast. I'm sorry, guys. It's just I don't.
I can taste the salt from here.
I usually use the legendaries on my team once I get them. Nowadays, I don't use Xerneas. I don't. I don't like it. It's stupid. Quite frankly, it's not as cool. Look at its Y counterpart. Which would you rather have? The fairy deer that creates life? Or the literal bringer of death?
Well, I know which one you favor just based on your job.
Thank you, Leo. But it's not just that. It's got an awesome design, and quite frankly, it's a dark psychic. I think it's got a psychic. I know it's a dark type, but I can't remember if it's a psychic type as well. If it is, cool. If it's not, I'm sorry. But, and the deer is a fairy. At the time, I didn't really care for fairy types. You see the problem here with what I have with fairies? They screwed me over in X and Y. They were new, and unlike Steel and Dark, I didn't really know how to face them. Dark were kind of easy to figure out. Hit him with a fighting type move, you were good. I know you can use bug type moves on them too, but fighting usually did it. Steel, it's a no-brainer. You hit it with a fighting type move or a fire type move, you're good. Fairies, I didn't really understand. Now, granted, like I said, I now know how to deal with them. Now I know how to work with them. I knew against dragons you were useless. But I didn't know anything about dark. I didn't know anything about steel. How these affected them. Poison. I know how to affect it now. But you see the problem here? When the fairy types hit. Now, I didn't have a guidebook. Didn't have a Kindle that I could look this stuff up with at the time. But, so you see the problem here. Lack of information. Not really having the right starter and not really understanding why it was hitting it so hard. And the fact that Xerneas is a little weak as far as legendaries go. And his moveset. You can kind of see why I'm not a big fan of the fairy types.
Or weren't.
Right. Before, I might have hated them. It was the first time I'd ever hated a Pokemon. Let alone an entire type. You see that? You see that problem? This is a guy who can't even bring himself to hate a Shuckle, or Dunsparce, or Farfetch before it got good with the Galarian form. I liked Lickitung and Licky. And then here comes this type that completely screws up everything. But it very might actually go up a few slots. Maybe not all the way to the top 5 or top 10. But it will get some more respect out of me. Now I know how to use it effectively now.
I feel like it'll get more respect out of you after the.
Oh, hold on. No. There's a reason for that. Now, the new Diamond Pearl games are coming out, right?
Yep, there.
Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. As well as Legends Arceus, but we don't know enough about that to really. I think y'all should wait to be celebrating about this game. Because, A, it's Game Freak. And Game Freak's been kind of screwing up a little bit here, left, right, center here lately with some of their games. And we don't know enough information about this game yet. So I'm kind of tempering my expectations with it. But if they're doing what I hope they're doing, which I think they are going to bring, the fairy types are going to be added into Diamond and Pearls, Pokedex. Couple that with the fact that it looks like they're using the Platinum Dex. It means there are 2 Pokemon that are almost guaranteed to be part of a lot of teams because of Cynthia's Garchomp and Spiritomb combo.
Yes, there's the statement.
Yes, your Togekiss might be a little bit of a problem, but only if you don't have a Magneton.
At least a Magneton.
Right, because you don't get a Magnezone until later on if you don't transfer it over. But Magneton is just as good, in my opinion. It's a steel electric type. That Togekiss is toast.
Togekiss is Toast.
Right. However, you got Gardevoir, which is a psychic fairy. And then you have my number one favorite fairy type, the Clefable line. You can find Cleffa fairly early on in Diamond and Pearl. And Platinum. So regardless of what Pokedex they use, I'm going to be using Cleffa. Leveling it up with High Friendship into a Clefairy. Find a Moonstone at some point and get a Clefable. Now, before these new games came out, before the Fairy type even hit, Clefable was already kind of a bullet sponge. It had mad defense and mad HP. Then it went from normal type to fairy type. And now it went from bullet sponge to will not die. You see where I'm going with this? You have a Clefable on your team. When you're facing Cynthia, and you got it on pretty good levels. Hell, even if you don't have it on good levels. Even if you only have it at level 45 to 50. That Spiritomb and Garchomp are going to be a joke. And just sweep the rest of the team with Palkia or Dialga. Except for the Togekiss. You could use whatever the rest of your Pokemon to party with that one. You see where I'm going with that? Cynthia's going to go from probably one of the most feared opponents to a freaking joke. And I'm not going to say that the fairy type is going to be one of my favorite types. It's not even going to crack my top 10 still. But it will move out of that 18th slot. Very least it will move up a slot. At least one. If it goes good. If it doesn't, I still stay in the 18th slot. That being said, guys, go down in the comment section down below and let me know what you think of the fairy type. Did it give you troubles like it gave me? Let me know. What do you think? What are your thoughts on Xerneas? Do you think I was being too harsh on it? I don't hate it. I can't bring myself to hate any Pokemon. Back then, I absolutely despised the fairy typing. I didn't despise the ones that didn't have the fairy type to begin with, but I hated all these new ones that got thrown into the mix. And Xerneas was at the top of that hate list. I've since kind of brought it back in, and I don't like them, but I don't hate them anymore either. With that being said, be sure to like, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe, go down in the comment section down below, let me know what you think, share this video with everybody you know. And as always, guys, we are going, if you want to see us at the HickoryCon on September 25th, we will be there around 10 to, at the earliest, when they first open, to about 1 at the latest. That's about 3 hours altogether. 2.5 to 3 hours altogether. The HickoryCon is at the Hickory Center. What was it? Hickory Convenience Center or something like that? Leo. The Hickory Convenience Center. Isn't that what it was called? Convention Center. Sorry. Hickory Convention Center. It goes from 10 to 5, but we are not going to be staying there for 7 hours. There's no way. But we will be there from around 2.5, 3 hours. If y'all want to come up and talk to us, we'll be filming a little bit, joking, laughing. There'll be 2 videos that day. It's on a Saturday, so mark your calendars. All 3 of us will be there. Um, Hell, if you ask us, we'll even do a few of our impression, our various characters that we play on the channel. And on that, I am going to give y'all a little teaser on that day, a little taste of a character I'm working on for October. I can't tell you his name yet, but I might do the voice if you ask me. So be sure to tune us in there. There'll be all kinds of stuff, and there will be less on like stuff like what I did earlier today. I'm recording on a Saturday, but y'all won't be seeing this until Wednesday. This past Saturday, I did an unboxing, and sorry guys, I got a little tickle in my throat. Addition to the Den. This will be I won't be doing that for September or October. This will be kind of tapered off because of specific plans that are going to be in place. There will be, however, a lot of unboxings, and I will try to showcase what hasn't been shown in November. So, we've got plans set in motion. I'm actually going to be looking at the schedule for next month and seeing what I can do. That being said, guys, I will see you guys next time. Bye.